Everybody needs a sweet old auntie, right? Having one, it just would be nice. 'Cause everybody needs a sweet old auntie, right? So welcome to Auntie's Advice. Hey, everybody. And this is Auntie. Oh my goodness. And I am here to do my review or rant of Married at First Sight, season 14, episode 19. Tell All Part 2. Oh my God, this thing has gone on so long. Y'all cannot believe that we are at episode 19. Let's get into this rant, shall we? Yes, we shall.
Everybody needs a sweet old auntie. Everybody needs
with a whoop whoop and a boop boop
aunties
boop.
and
You can make this up.
Now you know that these are some crazy motherfuckers.
everybody needs a sweet old auntie.
So why even bother?
Aunties and lives, sweet old auntie. Aunties and ways. Are you okay? Are you okay?
So, welcome back, everybody. If this is your first time being here, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. To all of my new subscribers, thank you all so much for joining this family. And to all of my nieces, nephews, and my members who have been here with me for the long haul, thank you all so much for your continued support. If I had to rate this episode of Married at First Sight, season 14, episode 19, I will rate this episode a I want to say a C, but I hate to say a C. But I'm going to go ahead and give it a C. Y'all let me know down in the comment section what you all would rate this episode of Married at First Sight. I just thought that this episode was all over the place for me. I thought that last week we had got a conclusion. We thought that this week would be a conclusion, and we still got an episode 20 coming up. Believe it or not, this is going to be an episode that's going to be starring other people from other casts. It seems like some of them have gotten together and stuff like that, and so we'll wait to see what happens with that. But anyway, we're going to go head on and get into this one. Please, for all of those who are coming here for the first time, this is a rant and not a review, and so Sister Girl may very well be all over the place today, and getting a little loud and screaming and stuff like that. Okay. But go ahead on and excuse me right now because you have been forewarned. This is not a review, but a rant. So we open up, this tell all with Kevin Liam. And I thought that it should have really been a woman. It was some fracking bull crap, and what they wanted to do was give us some behind the scene tea, I guess, about what had been going on between both the men and the ladies. A lot of the questions they asked the ladies, they did not ask the men. We all know that the men were absolutely not without drama, but they seem to treat the men much more differently than they do the women. That's just my opinion. Let me know down in the comments section if you peep that. But I absolutely peeped that. And I was like, okay, so why ain't they asking them like some of the stuff? But anyway, so they open up the episode, basically with the ladies talking about, their friendship and how many of them still talk to each other. And it was so much shady eyes and stuff like that that were going back and forth between Jasmina and what's the shit? Noi. Like I was annoyed. Okay. Like it seems like they had rehearsed their lines. They must have rehearsed their lines 1,000 times until they had them memorized. Okay. Honey, let me tell you, I just was like, a lot of this stuff to me, I thought was just absolutely unbelievable. It was very obvious that they wanted Lindsay to be the villain of the season. And I think that Lindsay played into that. I'm not saying that she wasn't, but it was pretty obvious that they wanted, and it's been like this to me year after year, that there's always someone who is left carrying the bag. And that person this season was Lindsay. Even as bad as we saw Alyssa act, okay, the whole time that she was on there, the whole, 2 weeks that she was on this, she came out squeaky clean in comparison to how the girls, in my opinion, double teamed Lindsay. Now, like I said, Lindsay probably did deserve it because she was absolutely acting like a complete and total butthole. But I didn't think that she was the only one that had a whole bunch of drama. It seems like to me that Jasmina was equally in the drama, if you will, in my opinion, as the other young ladies. It really did to me, in my opinion. Y'all let me know down in the comment section what y'all think about it. But she was in the mix of everything. She was here, there, everywhere. She was talking to all the girls. She had a whole bunch of stuff that was going on. She knew everybody's business. It seems like Katina was, basically on the outside, but she had, excuse me, she has so much going on with trying to keep a larger one under control and in check that she didn't have time for all the little reindeer dances and games that the other women were playing. Y'all let me know. It seems like Noi was just kind of, not wanting to be bothered with it because she was trying to figure out how much Steve had in his bank account. And so, these two ladies chose to do a little something different than all the other girls did. And I just was like, Jasmina had too much time on her hand because she wasn't giving it to Michael. She didn't ever get a man none and thought that he was going to continue to play the shenanigans, excuse me, y'all, and thought that he was going to continue to play the shenanigans until he said, I can't even do this no more. So, they asked the girls about, their relationships, as I said, and, everybody started talking about how they still talk to each other and all of that kind of stuff. Then he goes into this wild goose chase about a text message that went out, to the girls about whether or not Alyssa was matched with the wrong person. Now, as we all know, Alyssa has set her ass on there and said that she's a nice person. She really is a nice person. She knows that everybody's been grinning and giggling over this, but she really is a nice person. And that she wasn't in this confusion that was going on. So obviously there was some little crap that was going on about a tattoo. And that Alyssa's psychic had told her that the man that she was supposed to be with was going to have this certain tattoo. Well, the tattoo was not on Chris, but the mofo was on Steve. And so Steve was with Noi. So I guess there were implications, or Lindsay was alleging that this girl was after Steve because of this tattoo. And I'm thinking, what? So she sent a DM to Katina and to Jasmina for them to go and stir the tea. But they allegedly didn't stir the tea, but they got on some little road trip or something, and then they sent the text, the DM. Lindsay sent the DM, bitch. Lindsay sent the DM because she wasn't satisfied with what Katina and Jasmina did with it. So she sent it to Noi herself. And Noi was like, I ain't have time to be worrying about whether or not somebody liked my man. Bitch, he just was all over the place. I thought it was just the dumbest thing for them to bring up. And then they brought up an incident where Lindsay allegedly was threatening to put Jasmina out the car because she said that Jasmina was arguing with her because it's obvious that Lindsay and Alyssa didn't like each other. Lindsay accused Alyssa of texting or DMing her man Mark Deshaw. And as she has said, had been talking about her in a negative way. They had already established the fact that the two of them did not like each other from the giddy up, right? Because they did not like the fact that, okay, Lindsay made a comment at the bridal shower. Y'all, this is how stupid this was. That they went all the way back to the bridal shower just to throw Lindsay under the bus. Just to make Lindsay look a little bit dirtier. Lindsay don't need help looking dirty. She doesn't need help looking bad. She just doesn't need that help. But they were determined that everything that Lindsay did, they was going to spotlight it and highlight it. So they went all the way back to the bridal shower where Alyssa was still a participant, bitch. And they said that they unfollowed each other on social media because Lindsay was talking poorly about Alyssa. Alyssa found out, Jasmina. She found out about it. And then they had this thing that was going on where she was DMing Mark the Shark, but she said that Mark the Shark reached out to her. Lindsay said that she told Mark the Shark, don't talk to the bitch because she don't want our relationship to work. And she said that, the girl came to the house Alyssa came to the house after she was uninvited from them. And Lindsay said, bitch, we're trying to be married and you're not, so go home. Then Jasmina says that her and Lindsay got into it because Lindsay was talking about Alyssa. Jasmina don't play that bull with somebody talking about her girlfriend. And Lindsay put her out the car or threatened to put her out the car. She said once she got out the car, she texted her and was like, bitch, you was dead wrong. Lindsay said you was black and loud in my car. Lindsay pulled the aggressive, angry black woman card on Jasmina, but it didn't stick because Noi was like, she wasn't loud. I was in the Jasmina was like, okay, so Noi, you was in the car. So Noi, tell me whose story between these two stories, whose story, bitch, we don't care whose story sounds true. We don't care. You all want Lindsay to look like a piece of and you've all accomplished that. Now let's move on. Let's move on. And I am not by any means taking up for Lindsay. I want you all to know that I'm not taking up for Lindsay. But I cannot help but see the direction, in my opinion, that they were going in with Lindsay. I mean, you've dragged her enough. Mark the Shark gonna come out there and do it. So what the? These women were talking about dumb. He asked Katina, how is she now with Olajuwon? She said, now I just go ahead on and cuss him out. Well, she was doing that from the giddy up because we saw when they was snatching the mic. Let me tell y'all something. This was some dumb right here. And guess what? All of our asses, or at least the majority of us, sat through and watched it. Now, I had to watch it for y'all. If I did not have to watch it for y'all, I wouldn't have watched it because I was like, this is some con freaking fool la la. The men got together and they talked about, Mark the Shark and all that. And they talked about, again, Lindsay. This was the Lindsay show. Everything was about Lindsay and Jasmina and Mike. Mike didn't even get a chance to talk. Okay, so y'all look, they had the damn counselors there, right? And they all were talking about the couples, giving their assessment about the couples and why they were shocked that couples didn't stay together. One of the things that ended up coming out in this was that when Noi and Steve were talking about not living together, Dr. Pepper revealed that her and her husband don't live together. She said that they've been married, 17 some odd years, 20, 18, 19, 20, whatever, it's all together. And she revealed to them that her and her husband don't live together. She said they got separate kids and separate houses, bitch. She said they come together when they need to get together. And so she understood it. But Dr. Calvin and the other lady were like, we think that the two of the couples need to be together. Y'all, this was some bull. They have found a way to try to make Olajuwon look like he got his ever. So they're trying to say that, Olajuwon and Katina was a nice couple to watch. No, they wasn't. Because a lot of us felt like, okay, though we may not have been right, a lot of us felt like that Olajuwon was basically verbally, mentally, and psychologically abusive to Katina. We wasn't feeling it for him, but they done made him come out, honey, as some type of god. That he has done this 180 and he's reconciled, with her. He gave her a ring last episode. And he's eating her food now. And he's telling all the guys that his wife is throwing it down in the kitchen and all of this old book. And you just don't know what to believe anymore. At least I don't. I don't know what to believe. I just think that this was just make Lindsay look like a piece of kind of show. It just really was. I thought that it was unfair about the way that they dragged that damn girl. I don't know if I was Lindsay, if I could sit there and go through all of the stuff that if I were Lindsay, I couldn't sit through it. Even with Alyssa. Even with the way that they treated Alyssa and made Alyssa come out. They tried to drag Alyssa, but she wasn't having it because she know how to put them tears on. Even when Lindsay, at one point, Lindsay and Alyssa was going back and forth in an argument about Mark the Shark and about some things that Alyssa was supposed to have done. Katina was like, girl, be strong. Say what you gotta say, girl, be strong. She was like, okay. She was like, wait a minute, no, stop. Lindsay, I'm not going to agree with any of this. What you're saying is an untruth. It's, instead of just saying, bitch, you lying, what you saying is some untruth. And I just was like, what? Lizzie is cold-hearted. She's cold-blooded. In my opinion. She does not have any filters. She gonna say what she wanna say. She's gonna do what she wanna do. And Lindsay don't give a fuck who she's hurting. Like she doesn't. Lindsay don't give a damn if it's Mark's grandmama or Mark's mama. She don't give no fucks. And I mean, when I say none, she gives none. She don't care whether or not Mark is crying or getting spit on. She don't give a damn. She could care fucking less. Mark didn't make her scream at night. She says Mark didn't give her that feeling. She said Mark didn't hit that spot. He not only didn't hit the spot, he didn't hit the F one, the H one, the I one, the J one, the K one. He did not hit any kind of spot with her. So basically, she was done with this mofo because she never had an opportunity to get her spot hit. Let's just go ahead on and keep it. Just keep it. Thank you so much, Minky Finky, for the $4.99 super chat. This is for the hair. Thank you, boo. Lindsay has no tact. None whatsoever, Minky Finky. Thank you so much, boo. None. Absolutely none. And don't care about what they say to her. She doesn't give a damn about what they say to her. So the experts decided they were going to bring out each couple, because we're going to skip through a whole lot of this book, okay? Because that's what it was. The experts brought out each couple. So they bring out Mike and Katina. It's the same conversation. Now, the experts said that they matched them because they thought that they would be a power couple. I'm saying, well, power what? So anyway, they decided that, they would have a conversation with them, and they wanted to know what happened. Katina sits there and says, because Katina is an Alyssa bitch. Katina was not in this from day A. By her own admission, she indicated that her and Mike hadn't talked to each other for 30 whole damn days, for a whole month. They weren't communicating. So she was out of this, just like Alyssa, because Alyssa and Chris were not communicating either. So how is Jasmina different than Alyssa and Chris, other than the fact that Jasmina managed to stay in for the whole thing? If y'all remember, in the beginning, she wasn't even staying there with Mike. Do y'all remember, bitch? The reason why she said she wasn't staying there when she came home from the honeymoon was why. Tell me down in the comment section, who gonna get to it first? We all know why she wasn't dealing with him from the giddy up. Remember, y'all? Her excuse was the dog. She said that she had to go home and stay with the dog. So they weren't even staying together. Now here it is, they're not together anymore as a couple. Exactly. Okay, you got it. You got it. The dog. And so she wasn't staying with him then. She comes and stay with him a couple of weeks. They don't get along. It ain't till the last fucking weeks that they started getting along, y'all. So what? She was no different than Alyssa. She was there to hold Katina's hand so that Katina could stay with Elijah Wan. The fuck? So why didn't the experts ride Jasmina like they rode Alyssa? Because they had their picks. They knew what they wanted. They knew what they wanted. Absolutely, sweetie. That's exactly what she did. She finessed it. Her and Mike wanted to stay in my opinion, for the money and the bonus. But Chris was so miserable, he said, bitch, I can't even do it. Fuck a bonus. So they got these people sitting on the sofa. She says the reason why they broke up, y'all listen to this book right here. She says the reason why they broke up is because she asked Mike to borrow his laptop. Mike said, okay. She said she was going on a conference and she needed to fly. First thing I'm thinking, and I know y'all thinking it too, why this bitch who acts like she's got it all together don't have her own laptop? Laptops don't cost the same amount unless you buy an Apple or MacBook or something. They don't even cost the same as much as you can get a good laptop for under $500. Especially, bitch, if you got a Costco or a BJ's or a Sam's Club card. Or if you go to Walmart. And bitch, you don't even have to be Black Friday. So why did she have to call Mike to use Mike's laptop? But anyway, she says when she called back 2 days later and was like, "Hey, you still gonna bring the laptop over?" He was like, "I mean, did some bull." She says as a result of that, they went back and forth and they were arguing because he didn't keep his end of the deal. Mike was trying to say what he needed to say, but she kept cutting him off. And then whatever defense he used, production didn't even give a damn enough for us to even hear what his excuse was. He tried to talk and she said, "I'm still talking. Don't cut me off." He was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. My bad." We never fucking found out what his reason was because production thought that it wasn't important. It was important to us. It was important for us to know what the hell was going on with this laptop. But she says that Mike called her and was like, "I'm done." She says, "I got receipts that I was texting him every morning. He never texted me. He never made an effort. And he came and sat on my sofa one day." Bitch, you lucky he sat on your sofa that many days. Just that one day. Because if when we first met him, he had 2 roommates. He may have been busy, bitch. They may have missed him while he was gone. One never knows now, do one? Bitch, please. Thank you so much, Minky Finky, for becoming a member. Welcome to the family. Welcome, Bo. It wasn't really that important because we do not believe they got a divorce over a laptop. Absolutely, Dom down. Nobody. Thank you so much, members, for welcoming her. I love my members, boo. I'm telling you, they rocks with your auntie. Love my members. You may very well be right about it. But whatever the reason, it was stupid because, as Dom Down said, it wasn't over the laptop. It wasn't even the laptop that was the issue. And I swear it wasn't. It could not have been. This was some bull over something else. This was over Mike not getting his needs met. This was over the fact that Mike was in this relationship with this girl and he never hit it. He never touched it. He didn't smell it. He didn't do anything. This is what that situation was over. You ain't gonna tell me no cotton freaking difference. This was over Mike not getting his needs met. I truly believe that. He didn't get his needs met as a man. And what man is going to stay around that long unless he's a Christian man and he's trying to observe, trying to be, abstinence, practice abstinence and not, not doing anything. Other than that, a man wants, we ain't going to do it. Anyway, they said that they thought that this couple could stay together and that they could be a power couple, that they were keeping score on one another, trying to compete as to, trying to compete to say who really likes somebody, who putting forth the effort. Jasmina said, "I don't want nothing to do with his ass." And I thought that was cold-blooded because what was unfair to me is the edit. The edit was unfair because we did not get an opportunity to hear from him at all. I thought the edit was just terrible, and we needed to hear from him. I think a lot of these men, and with the exception of Elijah one, were really intimidated by a lot of these women, in my opinion. Y'all let me know. Mark the Shark was intimidated by Lindsay. He said this was the worst bullying that he's ever been, ever experienced in his life. Steve was scared to say something to Noy because he didn't know how the hell Noy was going to react to it. And then you got Cotton freaking Mike that's scared to say something, or Jasmine is going to bite his head off. This just was horrible, in my opinion, this season. The edits that the men receive was not good. It just won't good. Mark said that he was so fucking scared of Lindsay that he damn near peed on himself and he let the bitch spit on him. And let me tell you something. Mark the Shark, when he said that he didn't like Lindsay and he didn't want to have sex with her and he wanted it to slow down, and she threatened him and gave him that ultimatum, in my opinion, that's what she did. He lost that night. That was the beginning of the downward spiral. He should have stood up and said, I don't want to make love to you. I'm sorry that I did. I had too many drinks and I slept with you, but I'm not into you like that. Because every time Lindsay brought up Mark the Shark, including being in that cotton freaking bathroom with that producer, she said, at least he can make me, at least he can. She was dissatisfied sexually with this man. Period, point blank, poo. And she felt like she could boss him around because she felt like she invested in him. She said after she fixed that house, she told him, I want to keep my apartment. He said, no. We're not separating the family. We ain't separating the cats. We're not separating his family. Soon as the ink dried on her contract and them people got their keys, bitch, Mark says, you got to go. Mark said, you done help me renovate my mom and them old dilapidated house. And bitch, I don't need you in here. Love don't live here anymore. Hit her with a Rolls Royce. And Lindsay went off. Mark the Shark sat on that cotton freaking stage, y'all, and cried his little baby eyes out. Oh, yes, he did. He said that he was scared of her. He said that they were having an argument and she spat on him. And he said he thought that that was the lowest thing that anybody can do to someone else. And I'm telling you, I have to agree. Lindsay, in my opinion, is trifling. And she wanted to go back and forth with Dr. Viviana. Out of her league. Lindsay is calculated. Lindsay hits way below the belt. And she is going for the white meat. Dr. Oh my goodness, what is her name? I cannot even think of her name. She said, you go down to the bone. And that's the white meat. She didn't want to apologize. Olajuwon had to convince her to apologize to Mark. Mark was so scared of her reaction, he said, I don't even want the fucking apology. Mark was a coward. Mark is a goldfish, bitch. Mark is a little guppy. He just one of them little goldfish. You know, when you put your finger in the tank and all they do is just go. on your little finger, and if you don't feel nothing, just feel like all gums coming out. That's how he was. He don't have no teeth. He's not a piranha. He's not an alligator. He's not a crocodile, bitch. He's not a shark. He's not a whale. He's none of that, bitch. He's a cotton freaking goldfish in a tank. He's just there to be just looking around at. He's such a goldfish that he doesn't even know how to eat the algae off the tank, bitch. You get too much algae and he just gonna come to the top and just be going, right? He let this woman walk all over top of him. And now he wants sympathy. And I'm telling you, I gave him sympathy and I did give him some empathy. But I sure thought he looked really pathetic as well. And I'm going to keep it a buck 150. Y'all may not like it, but I'm going to keep it a buck. I thought he looked absolutely pathetic. And I thought that he should, we know that men are, we know that men suffer at the hands of women. We know this. And I'm not minimizing Mark's experience. But at some point, you got to stand 10 toes to the ground and check this bitch. He's so traumatized by the experience that he was like, I don't even want to talk about this, right? But this is something that needs to be talked about because Lindsay is the type of person, until you check her, like Olajuwon checked her on that cotton freaking bus, she's going to continue to do what she does. She's going to continue to do what she does. Lindsay feels like as long as I am doing something for you to help you, you owe me. And nobody owes anybody anything. You either do this out your heart, Lindsay, or don't do it at all. Steve and Noy, nothing. It was nothing any different than what we've heard in the weeks before. And the same thing with Olajuwon and Katina. Everybody else scouted through. This was the Lindsay show. Lindsay, if you did indeed spit on that man, you're lower than I ever thought you were. I don't think a human being can go any lower than to spit on somebody. But what that shows right there is that you've been spat on. Because a person that would do something like that has experienced it for themselves. And so they take and perpetrate that onto somebody else. You's a gutter chick, in my opinion. Bottom of the barrel. It's one thing to be a little raunchy, have a little cuss fest and stuff like that. Maybe swing on a pole or some, a couple of little nice, one night stand, stuff like that. But when you spitting, you're low. You're real low. Just low. And yet and still, we got one more episode that we got to deal with. I'm going to be coming out tomorrow, and we're going to be discussing Married at First Sight, season 15. Y'all, they got some new judges, and new counselors, and y'all not going to believe who these people are. We're going to talk about that tomorrow, amongst other things. But I'm going to tell you right now, in this tell-all, I felt like it was a waste of our time. I gave it a C simply because there were, I think, some things that was, no, I ain't even going to BS. I gave it a C because I didn't want to give it a D. I didn't think it was that bad because I think that some of you all probably got something out of it. But coming from a content creator to give you all some content, because I like us to come out here and laugh and kiki and stuff like that. And when I can't laugh and kiki, it's a bad episode because I should be able to pull something out of it, but it was a downwards. It just was a Debbie Downer like it. It never had any highs because it was the Lindsay show. It was all about Lindsay and Alyssa. Y'all, that's the end of my review. I love you all to pieces. We will see each other tomorrow. I still owe y'all another video. Y'all have a great night. Thank you so much for the super chat. And thank you for the membership. Minky. Is it Minky? Oh my goodness. Let me see if it'll let me scroll back. Minky Finky. Thank you so much for joining the membership. I love you all to pieces. Y'all have a great night.